Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Adam and today we are going to be ranking 31 books from Beast Quest. Not just any books, but they are my least favourite book from each series of Beast Quest. Uh yeah, whilst doing this I actually had a hard time actually arranging this list. No idea why. But yeah, so with this ranking, what I took into account was what aspects of these beasts I actually like, and I divided each of these beasts up into three separate groups. One which I actually do like, another group which I'm okay with, have at least one or two shining spots which makes them okay, and the third group is one which I would say is meh and doesn't actually have anything which stands out to me, even if they do have a unique ability. So with that, I've ordered them all up, and yeah, I surprised myself with this ranking actually. What I will say is though, this video idea was suggested to me by one of my viewers named Ara21N. I don't know if I pronounced it right. I do have a guess on how it's actually meant to be pronounced, but if that is your actual name, I'm not going to say it because I don't know if you want your name being said. But thank you for the suggestion. Great Bash of the Beast videos, by the way. Just what I watched the first episode of round two. Good on my parent making it through to round three. That's something that'll never happen in my tournaments. But yeah, uh, looking forward to see who wins. But yeah, with that, I got suggested this video by Ara21N. And yeah, let's get into this. Starting with my least favourite book from the main series, which is Quirzel the Swamp Monster. Yeah, okay, so I was kind of surprised that this beast was my least favourite. But looking at its design, it is the weakest design of all the tree beasts in my opinion, as well as I know it has a unique ability, but I have no idea what it is. I can't remember what it is at all. It's very forgettable, and every time I think about this beast, I just remember how much I forget, which is everything. But also, I also remember that I didn't actually enjoy reading it. So yeah, Quasar had to be my least favourite because of that reason. Moving on to 30th place. 30th place we have Captiva the Shrieking Siren. For the same reason as Quirzel, the only thing that I remember about Captiva is actually her design. Being a slightly better tree beast, but still a bit cartoony compared to the other tree beasts. The abilities I don't remember much from at all. I do remember that this is where Myandra was introduced, where Tom and Eleanor went to save Myandra. But other than that, I can't tell you anything about this beast because I don't remember anything about this beast. When I do a retrospective on Captiva and Guerzo, I could be more... Well, I could actually say more about their abilities and maybe they'll progress further in my ranking. But at the moment, I know they're my least favourite of Series 23 and 28 respectively. And it will probably stay that way even after I reread them. Because I've never really liked tree beasts, and it's only a miracle that Terra's not on this list at all. Moving on to 29th place. 29th place is Nanook the Snow Monster. So, yeah, lots of people will probably be expecting I had this beast in last place or another beast, which will be coming up soon. Yeah, Nanook is a beast I've never particularly liked. I've grown appreciation for due to how important she is to the main series. However, though, on a beast perspective, I simply can't overlook the lack of unique abilities and the lack of a fight in her book. I was willing to accept that her design is a bit simple and being series one that I was going to let that slide, but having a chapter, well, not even a chapter, half a chapter dedicated to her fight is a bit of a rip off to me and made me not really like this beast, and my opinion stayed true 5 years later. Yeah, that's all I can really say about Nanook. I do wish to like her more, but that's probably not going to happen. And Jack, that is not you say. That's not me giving you permission to try and make me like this beast, because it's not going to happen. 28th place is the beast that everyone expected me to put last place, but Claw the Giant Monkey. I cannot believe I'm saying this about Claw, but I've actually looked back at it and thought it deserves to be higher than Nanook because there's a fight, and it deserves to be higher than Quasar and Captiva because I actually remember this beast. Unfortunately, for the wrong reasons. So, I remember when Lucas was talking about Series 2, I think it was with Jack as well, in their live stream they did for Christmas. They mentioned of how the Series 2 beasts, some Series 2 beasts are wearing the golden armor, and that's because the golden armor can adjust its size to adjust the wearer. What they forgot to mention is that the golden armor only adjusts its size and works for the wearer when they are deemed worthy of being Master of the Beasts. Claw and Sultra, this is the only problem I have with Sultra, have never really earned that right to become Master of the Beast, so why they are wearing it is still a problem I have with it, but it's more on Claw than Sultra. Other problems I have with Claw is that his design, in my opinion, is the worst of Series 2, and the abilities are what you'd expect and are very boring, and then the fights, I know there is a relatively long fight in this book, but I couldn't for the life of me find it entertaining, and I think that's just my opinion. There's nothing else I can really say about this beast. I do not like this beast at all, and it's a miracle it's even up this high. Well, 28th place. In 27th place, we have Tychron the Jungle Master. And same, can we copy what I said about Claw and pass it on to Tychron? The only difference about this one is I remember how the fight ended with Tychron's tail being chopped off, as that was the source of his corruption. But he's only higher than Claw because he's actually looks more intimidating than Claw. And that is the sole reason. Also, I think the design is better as well, but that's what you get for being 12 seasons after Claw. The designs will get better. But yeah, other than that, I don't really like Tychron much at all, but the design is better, and I remember how the fight ended. 26th place, we have Elko, Lord of the Sea. Honestly, miracle has made it on this list, or up this high anyway. Design is the only saving grace for it. The fight was rushed and underwhelming. I remember how it ended as well. And the abilities are boring and not interesting at all. He does not deserve the title Lord of the Sea, and if I say anything more negative about it, this is going to start turning into a hate crime against Elko, so I'll leave it there. 25th place, we have Ronak the Toxic Terror. So, yeah, obviously, no, this has been my least favourite of Series 16 for the longest time, and probably will stay to be my least favourite. Because personally, I find him just being underwhelming. I like the design. I do think it does have potential. However, what really drags me down is that his abilities is bad, and his fight is also very forgettable. His worst ability is actually his signature ability with the acidic claws at the end of his front legs. Because you'd think if you have acidic powers, you can dissolve rock or flesh or even bone. And what can Ronak dissolve? Vegetation. Vegetation, and that's it. What an underwhelming beast. And when I saw that, I've never forgotten it, and I disliked this beast since then. It's never really got its full respect back from me. I wanted to like this beast, but I just couldn't. 24th place, we have Ursus the Clawed Roar, and yeah, design is very boring, one of the more boring designs, and the abilities aren't really used that well, and the fight was quite short, but I think the only reason why I hold it up this high is that, like with Ronak, it's a transformation beast, which I do kind of like. Whilst it is one of the weaker transformation beasts, it is part of a gimmick, which I do like. Overused, but I do like. So that is why Ursus even up this high. In 23rd place, we have Raptex the Sky Hunter, the weakest of the Griffin beasts. And the only plus side I can say about Raptex is his design. And even then, it's just okay. The abilities are what you expect and are very underwhelming. And the fight was honestly, the fight was bad. This is probably the first beast I can talk about in this video where the fight I remember, but it's just bad. And yeah, that's all I could say about it. This was a very underwhelming beast of Series 27, and considering this is part of the series where it has two good beasts before it and a fantastic beast after it, this is the only weak point of Series 27 and stops Series 27 from being a relatively popular series. Myself, Lucas, and Jack all agreed that Raptex is the worst beast of Series 27, and it's not even a competition. Easily the worst, with a bad fight, bad abilities, and honestly, a design which is okay, and personally, I think it's better than Vigrash due to the white on it, but I wouldn't say it's a fantastic design either. In 22nd place, I can't believe I'm putting this beast this high, it's Soara the Sting Inspector. And the only reason why it's up this high is that its design actually looks alright. It looks good, it's a unique take on a beast. We never had a jellyfish beast before. So, good design. I wanted to like this beast because the design intrigued me. But then you get into the book where the abilities is okay and the fight was okay as well. But the problem is, though, the beast is barely in it. Yeah, so it was a very underwhelming beast. The fight was a very short one and okay. And it felt like it was more focused on the inhabitants of the island where Soara takes place, which is just like, no. You had an opportunity to have such a good beast and you just get rid of it for what? Pirates? No. Very disappointing, very underwhelming, and easily one of the worst beasts to come out of the new generation, in my opinion. Just missing out on the top 20 is another beast which I've very verbally said that I dislike, and that's Rashuk the Cave Troll. The only thing which actually helps Rashuk from being any good is actually his ability of turning things to stone by a slash of his claws. But other than that, Rashuk is such a bad beast in my opinion, where I generally do not like him. I only put him up higher than the others because he because he did help me win a game of Beast Quest Guess Who, and that is the only reason why he's higher up than the other beasts. I still don't like this beast, and he did help me win a game. Other than that, though, the only thing that stands out is his ability and how he died. In 19th place, we have Muro the Rat Monster, and yeah, same thing with previous beasts. Never really been a big fan of this beast, but its abilities do stand out. With the razor sharp whiskers, Muro being blind, so relying on his hearing and smell, and of course the rat swarming ability, which I may or may not have forgotten about. Other than that, no, Muro doesn't have anything which intrigues me, and his fight and design is not that great. But I might be forgetting something, but yeah. Jack is trying to make me like this beast, but I don't think it's going to work. He has a better chance of making me like the next beast, which also won't work. 18th place is Solak, Scourge of the Sea. This book has fallen. So, for a lightning beast, you would expect something that's intimidating, formidable, and incredible. And all we got is intimidating. It's not really formidable, and it's not incredible. It's just intimidating. So the bone fins that are around here, those are the things I like about his design. I do like the whole picture of the design as well. However, the abilities and fight are so forgettable. Despite reading the book last week, I still don't remember anything from his design and abilities and fight. And that's why I ranked it in 18th place. Because, yeah, I was within the category where they have something good, but that's it. 17th place, we have Torno the Hurricane Dragon. The only reason why he's up this high is his design, actually looking quite nice. Not to mention, having wind manipulation by breathing a hurricane out your mouth is a good ability. However, my main problem is the whole light as a feather thing, which Torno is, where he's able to land on the tree of being whilst it's on an actual rock and the tree doesn't fall. I think that's a stupid ability for a beast with apparently no body mass. I think that's stupid. But other than that, though, I do think Torno is mainly saved by its design. And whilst I do think it's an okay beast, I can't actually say I like this beast. In 17th place is Xeric the Bone Cruncher. I just realised I've been doing the rankings wrong. Muro's 20th, Solak's 19th, Torno's 18th, this is 17th. Xeric the Bone Cruncher. What can I say about this beast other than its design is great? It was a unique concept which I know some people can like, but I simply can't like it. And that is all because of my dislike for slow moving, bulky beasts. And it did kind of die in a kind of predictable and underwhelming manner where, yeah, I did like the part in the fight where Tom went inside of Zeric's mouth, but then after that, nothing really much else came of it, and he just burnt to a crisp. Okay, but that's it. I don't, yeah, underwhelming. 16th place, we have Thoron the Living Storm. And yeah, with Thoron, not really been the biggest fan of Thoron. Because whilst the design is unique, and which is why he's up this high, as well as his lightning abilities, I haven't really liked Thoron due to his design. I kind of prefer beasts that have an actual body to them, but having it be a straight up entity is the part that I dislike about it, to the point where, because of how overpowered that is, I had to give him a nerf in the Battle of the Beasts tournaments, and yeah, that did not help him either. I think Thoron does have potential to be a beast I will eventually like. However, because I actually like Griffin Sorex, and Okko is starting to come up for me, even though he doesn't have a body either, so I'm just a bit on him. I think Thoron, the best Thoron's going to get is my least favourite of Series 17. He can go up higher in this list, but he's not going up higher in my personal ranking of Series 17. In 15th place, we have Skuric the Forest Demon. Yeah, don't really know what to say about Skuric. Its design is great. I do like his design. I do like the whole concept of him kidnapping children. However, his abilities are small in numbers and overused, especially the sap trapping ability. His fight is also very rushed, and his weakness is also quite underwhelming and a bit ironic considering you fight him in a forest. But yeah, other than that though, Skuric is Skuric. He's an okay start to Series 13, one of the better seasons, but I wish he was just better. In 14th place, we have Zoolock the Winged Spirit, and the part about Zoolock which stands out is her ability of blinding others with a bright light that comes from under her wings or from her eyes, which I thought is a great concept, really. However, that's pretty much all it does. I can't remember anything else from this beast other because I don't remember its fight. Its design is okay. That one ability is the only good one in my opinion. I do remember she does protect her young, is protecting her young, which is why she fights Tom and Alina. But that's it. That's all I remember. So being forgettable gets you 15th place. 14th place, you have Hyrex the Rock Smasher. And yeah, for Hyrex, never really been the biggest fan of this beast, but I do like the whole imposing threat he is, the looming threat he is. However, that's pretty much it. There's nothing really much to say about Hyrex. His abilities are simple, his fight is forgettable, and his design is just okay. Yeah, that's all I can really say. I remember it more for the story at the start of the 4 bandits breaking out of the prison. In 12th place, we have Koldo the Arctic Warrior. So with this, Koldo's only up this high because the other beasts are just not as great. So I do think it's a sign of weakness for a beast to be captured by humans. Whether it's an actual plan or not, I don't know. But because of that, I do not like Koldo. I do think it is a sign of weakness. And I do remember a lot about this beast, but also I do forget a lot about this beast. I don't really know what to say about this beast. I'm not the right person to be talking about the good things on this beast because I don't like this beast very much. But what I can say is, though, I do appreciate him being a good beast of Gwildor. I do appreciate he appears in one of my favourite isolated beasts books in Series 17. Other than that, though, Koldo to me is just Koldo. That's pretty much all I can say about Koldo because Koldo is Koldo. He's not a. He just seems like a cool guy. That's all I can really say. Just missing out on the top 10. In 11th place is Score the Winged Stallion. This beast I did not actually expect to be ranking this high, but when it comes to a beast which is virtually indestructible, very hard to injure, not to mention being an intimidating threat, surprisingly for a horse. Yeah, turns out Score can be very high on this list. I remember at one point this was like one of my least favorite books, and now it's gone up in recognition, just like the other beasts of Series 3. So whilst this beast is still my least favorite Series 3, it's not by a lot now, but I do think Score is okay. Nothing really entertaining about it other than the fight ended with Tom using a grass whistle. And yeah, his ability to being hard to injure is a good one. In 10th place, we have Petrock the Stone Warrior. I was very surprised that this beast made it this high, just like I'm surprised about the next beast. But with the stone fists and the fight, yes, going from A to B, that is actually what boosts Petrock up this high, because the other fights, I think, are boring compared to this one. Not to mention recency bias. I read this beast recently, so that's probably why he's up this high as well. Multitude of things, which is why I dislike this beast. But I do need to say, though, I do think this beast does have potential to be liked by me, but it'll probably stay be my least favorite of Series 31 because I simply like the other beasts a lot more. But I said this every time I talk about Petrock. I'll say it now. The only reason why I remember this beast is because the story just glosses over Marilla here, and I want to know more about this werewolf animal companion of Nolan's because I do think she's a very interesting character, and I want to know more about her, and we will with Zinara, I think it is, in Series 32. If it's not Zinara, it's Macroxa, but we'll learn more about them then. In 9th place, we have Greymon the Bison Horror. Yeah, very surprised Greymon made it to the top 10. But what makes Greymon an okay weakest beast of Series 21, in my opinion, is actually his design. Because on first look, it's kind of hard to tell he's actually a mole unless you actually know what moles actually look like. But yeah, I personally don't know what a mole looks like up close, and when I saw this beast, I thought it was just a straight up alien. But no, it turns out it's a giant mole, and his fight does stand out, unfortunately for the wrong reasons. But at this point, on my channel, to me and Lucas as well, it's just a meme at this point of this beast just copying Komodo and dying by breaking his neck. I do think that is hilarious that we now turn this beast into a meme. And the whole cult that was... sorry, bad throat. And the whole cult that was put together in my Battle of the Beast NG tournament by a viewer, I found to be hilarious at the same time. This person just saying justice for Greymon in every other episode is beautiful. So I think that's why Greymon went up in my rankings, because of a meme that myself and Lucas just make fun of it for, and also the cult that came into play in my Battle of the Beast tournament. In 8th place, we have Shamani the Raging Flame. And yeah, I do think I know this is the weakest of Series 10. The only thing I can really say that stands out from it is the fiery aura from her, but also she does have that intimidation factor. However, to me, she's still the weakest of Series 10 by a long shot, and the weakest of the remaining beasts left. Because the upcoming beasts, I actually have some liking for. For Shamani, I don't really have much of a liking. And I probably could have put Greymon above Shamani because I only like Greymon due to how much myself and Lucas diss him. But for Shamani, she's just there. I guess she's only up this high because she's the worst beast of what is one of the better seasons. And I still think she's actually an alright beast. I just don't really like her. In 7th place, we have a quarter the all-seeing ape. And the 360-degree vision and the controlling of vines is the reason why she's up this high. Because I do think those are two unique abilities which are very well done. And I enjoy it for that. However, the fight is forgettable. I don't remember much from the fight apart from a quarter being apprehended by her own vines, probably. But yeah, I don't remember much from this fight. I remember more for the story, and that's it. 6th place, we have Menox the Sabertooth Terror. And yeah, I do think every beast from Series 22 is a good beast, including this one. Not an actual good beast, but a beast which I like. I do like its red steel fang, as well as its design being a rat beast, which I do like. Not as much as Vermok, but still quite good. Yeah, lots of things I like about Menox. I do think this is a strong start to the series, and the only reason why he's not up any higher is that the other beasts have abilities which makes them stand out above Menox, but I could swap him around with 5th place quite easily due to the 5th place beast being quite underwhelming, but also very good at the same time. In 5th place, we have Electro the Stormbird, and yeah, for story perspective, it would have been 1st place. But on a beast perspective, I need to be honest when I say this beast had potential and misfired horrendously. Being a Stormbird, you can absorb lightning, which is great, but you can't shoot it out. If he could have shot it out, he would have been one of the best beasts. But unfortunately, though, the only thing that Electro has going for him is his design and the ability to absorb lightning. And his fight being Alina and Daltek versus Electro, with Tom also in the play as well. But other than that, nothing really stands out about Electro. And Electro's just here because of how great of a start he is on a book perspective. But I had to take away some points due to his beast being a bit underwhelming. In 4th place, we have Quag the Stone Dragon. And I do like the Stone Gaze ability Quag has. I will straight up say that. I like most of the abilities Quag has, and the fact that he's made of stone is a unique twist on the normal dragons. However, his fight is very forgettable. I do not remember his fight for the life of me. And despite being the weakest book, it's a good thing he's the starter, because I remember the other dragons very well. Not this one, though. What I will say is, though, he is a bit on the boring side when it comes to dragons, which is the downside and why he's 4th place. But after this beast, we're now in the top 3, and these 3 beasts I do like, and 2 of them just haven't had the opportunity to shine and become more liked to me. 3rd place, we have Sylex of the Stonecat, and yeah, unfortunately Sylex Ambassador Beast died in round 1 for both tournaments, so nothing really much stand out there. But I do think she has a lot of great potential. I love the pose she's doing on this cover. Her abilities are great as well, being able to turn to the furry, fleshy form, to stone, to gas. It's great. I do like she does have a bit of an ego as well, which I think is good. Even though it was the cause of her defeat, it was quite a good beast in my opinion. Not to mention the multitude of eyes and ears is also a nice touch to change up the design of a normal cat-like beast, which I think is great. It reminds me a bit like the cat creature from What's New Scooby-Doo, but more intimidating and better. In 2nd place, we have Garrox the Coral Giant, and yeah, I understand why this beast is the weakest of Series 29. He's the weakest of Series 29 for me, but yeah, honestly, the other beasts are just a lot better. what I do remember a lot about this beast. I remember his design looking very intimidating and had potential. When I first saw the covers, I was like, "Oh, I really want to see what this beast can do. This beast looks interesting." The abilities, I believe this beast is poisonous. With it is poisonous, but other than that, he just has his size and constriction abilities, which can is really all that's it for Garox. He can camouflage onto the ocean floor as well, due to being a piece of coral, which should be easy for him. And the fight I think is good. I don't remember much from it, unfortunately, but I do remember how it ended. Myandra climbed up to the top of the lighthouse and chucked a bunch of gunpowder on towards Garox and ignited it. Garox blew up in that fight, and I think that was very well done, in my opinion. If there's anything negative about Garox, honestly, I don't know. I think it's just because there's just not much to the story or beast compared to the other beasts of Series 27, which makes him the weakest. But in any other season, I think he'll be a mid tier to best beast of the season because he is a good beast after all. I do actually really like him. But of course, my least favorite beast from each series is Hellion the Fiery Foe. The only beast to make it onto my top 100 beasts of all time video. And whilst Hellion probably doesn't belong on that top 100, I will say I do really like this beast because he's in one of the first seasons I've ever got a Beast Quest, and I like every book in Series 7. He's just the weakest one due to his design being the most simple of them all, and a bit boring compared to the others as well. His abilities are what you'd expect and are okay, and his fight was on the emotional side for Eleanor, and that's pretty much it. But I do like everything about this beast and how the fight ended up. I think he did all right in the environment he's not suited for, but being in the forest, he just sets the whole forest on fire, which makes a lot of sense for Hellion. Honestly, great beast in my opinion. I do think he's a good beast, and probably will stay to be my least favorite book from each series. But he might get overtaken by Garox or Silexa when they get a moment in the spotlight. But yeah, Hellion, great beast in my opinion. And with that, let's cut back to me. And with that, that is the end of the video. I think this video went alright. Ranking 31 books, my least favorite from each series. It got a bit repetitive at times because most of them are relatively forgettable to me because I tend not to remember the ones I think lowly of, not much about really. And I only brush up on their abilities when they come up in Battle of the Beasts, and even then I do forget them after the battle. But then again, I'm only human. I can't remember every detail about every beast. It would be great, but my memory isn't great. It's just okay. I do yeah. Thank you, Ara21N. I think this was a great idea. Was great to do it. Bit of a unique twist over doing my favourite beast from each series. Don't remember when the last time I did that was, but I could do that as a future video. That's if I didn't do it recently. Yeah. I think I already did do that, didn't I? I don't know. I think I did. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I did. I don't know. But yeah, this was a fun video to do. Apologies that pretty much everything I was saying was repetitive, but I was surprised to see that Grimon Petrock and even a quarter made it to the top 10 of this ranking. I knew what the top 4 was going to be, definitely. And then I knew which one had to be my favourite one because it was the only one on the top 100. And Garox and Silex didn't have a moment to shine in the spotlight. But yeah, I enjoyed this video. Thank you for the request. I will do any requests which are sent to me and I see, and if I actually can make a good video out of it, I will. If it's something that is an idea which I'm not overly keen on, I probably won't do it, but I will do most requests. It's just if it seems a bit scratching at the bottom of the barrel, I wouldn't do, if you get what I'm saying. Uh, but yeah, it's like a request which Lucas gave me, ranking the horned beast with horns. Uh, Now I think that's an okay idea, but ultimately I kind of got two choices on how to rank it: how they look on the beast or how useful they are with the horn. And for both of them, I can see it being one of the most repetitive videos I can ever be saying, because with how they look, it's just a case of saying, yeah, the horns are okay. Yeah, yeah, I focus on design, but I don't think most of the time, the horn isn't the main aspect of the beast. Where number one in that ranking would probably be Merca from my memory. But then you go to how it's used from the beast and how effective it is, and number one would probably still be Merca, with Wrathgore in the top five probably. And yeah, and for most of them, it'd just be a case of they don't use it, they don't use it, they don't use it, they don't use it. Yeah, so I I even though Lucas said I'm gonna do it, I'm saying right now, as the person which he's saying is doing it, I'm not going to do it because I don't really want to do a video where I'm going to be repeating myself over and over again more times than I have in this one. I think I did this one because I do think it's a good idea. Having a moment to shine the spotlight on my least favorite beats of each series. Whilst it was repetitive, at least I had something unique to say about each one. But with the Horned Beast video, I generally won't have anything additional to say, especially when it's talking about just their horns. So that video is not going to work, and I would personally get bored doing it to the point where I'll probably fall asleep before the end. But yeah, that is that. But that was just a side tangent. But anyway, thank you again, Arrow21N. Thank you for the suggestion. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed doing the video. Surprised about the ranking actually. Claw wasn't last place. That's a surprise. That's definitely not me starting to like Claw. The other beasts are just forgettable, and Nanook is bad as well. So with that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the little notification bell down in the corner below. One day I'll say notification right very quickly, but with that's all for this time. Till then, peace out.